it helps to be really well known and famous or whatever. Shouldn't say famous, but well known and people know who you are. And I said, well, that's not really the case at all. In fact, I think that anybody can build their reputation to the point where they get opportunities like that. Now, Good Morning America, I'm going to be real honest with you. It's been on one of my top 10 lists of places that I wanted to be on. Last year, actually, Chris Winfield and Jennifer Gottlieb, I was in one of their little courses that they do. And they had us write down the media outlets that we would like to appear on. And I definitely, Good Morning America was on the list as one of the, kind of bigger opportunities possibly that I could have. So that is how that went. Hi, Gabe. How are you doing? How do you say Gabe or Gabe? Okay. Anyway, I'll have to figure out how to say your name right. Anyway, so I'm really excited to kind of just walk you through how I did it and what happened. So let me just pull up really quick for you. I'll share my screen. The clip of the media interview that I did. I'm going to do the real super short version of it. I've already queued it up and everything. So let's pull it up here and I'll share it with you. Oh, it just blipped out. I want to share this with you because I want you to see the what I did, and then I'm going to explain kind of where it came from. So here we go. I'm going to share it and hopefully you'll be able to hear it. So I'm going to start playing it here real quick. Let me know if you can't hear it, but I'm going to start playing it.
Aired Wednesday before the break-in. Dorit, when you come out with these outfits, do you buy every single thing? Every single piece. I'm really particular. I want to wear what I want to wear, and it's just easier. I just think I'll buy it. And you pay retail for everything. Yes. Experts warn being open about wealth can be dangerous.
Social media is this place where people go out to flex. They flex all of what they have. But the bottom line is that there's people that want what you have and they're willing to take it. So definitely be careful about what you show online.
This isn't the first time.
So that is it. I mean, it's all of 10 seconds on Good Morning America, but it was Good Morning America, which is awesome. And so, it was an awesome opportunity. So let me kind of just back up and explain how I did this. And yes, and that is absolutely true. And so I'm gonna explain that. And I love that you threw this in here. It really was about community that this happened. So let me back up. So now you kind of saw what happened. And I'm going to back up now and kind of give you the step-by-step process by which this happened. So first of all, I run a local kind of online and in-person community here in Houston called the Social Media Breakfast of Houston. So if you're in Social Media Breakfast of Houston, if you've ever come, call out, please do. So I'm sorry. Take that out. So definitely let me know you're here. But Social Media Breakfast of Houston is a really cool grassroots community of people who we meet once a month right now online. And we'll be meeting next week, actually on Friday, and it's going to be a really cool one. We're going to be having Elizabeth Edwards come in, and she's going to be talking about how to use psychology to really connect with your audience. But anyway, so long story short, a very long story is that, you get to start to support each other in community. And we really do that at Social Media Breakfast. So people would come to do business at Social Media Breakfast. They would invite people to come to the Social Media Breakfast, and then they'd stay afterwards and do business. And it was a wonderful, especially when we were in person, a really wonderful vibe on that front. And, that community is still really, really tight. I also started doing these online videos every week and just coming up with one topic and, just outlining it in the week. And so by doing that, I have raised a certain amount of visibility for my brand. So people know me, they know what I do, they kind of have an idea of who I am. But even if people know you and they love you and they would be willing to, refer you, they don't necessarily think about you. Because I don't know about you, but, you're going through your day and people ask you a question, do you know somebody who does X, Y, Z? And then somebody comes to mind for you that does that, or somebody doesn't, nobody does, well, I don't know anyone. So the question is, why does that person come to mind for you? Think about that. Why did that person come to mind for you? either number one, they've done that kind of work for you in the past and done it well. So in that case, you'll remember them. Number two, because maybe you've seen them talking about it or speaking about it or doing a live stream about it. And you think, oh yeah, that person could do this for you. And I really like them, know, like, and trust them. So you will refer them. But people have to, you have to kind of be at the top of mind. So if I stop doing all videos, I stop doing social media breakfast, I'm sorry, I stopped doing all that stuff. It wouldn't be very long. I mean, it would take some time maybe, but it wouldn't be very long before people don't really think of you as doing that anymore. Do you know what I mean? They'll be like, well, maybe Cami used to do that, but like now I'm not so sure if she's doing that anymore. And so they won't recommend you as quickly. So I have just kind of pulled together about 4 things that I think that you could do. And you don't have to be the leader of the group. I know I'm the leader of that group, but I will tell you that when I moved to Houston, I knew no one. Hey, John, how are you doing? I see you coming in. I knew no one at all, not one person. So that is the thing. You know, you're going to have to like decide what is it that you want to do and then do the work. So, you know, I started Social Media Breakfast. I met with one person here in Houston. They thought it was a great idea. We put it up there. She invited her people. She also introduced me to another person who was a little bit more influential and had some more contacts. And that person, Jennifer Tejada, she invited all of the people that she knew, and we kind of co-founded it in that way. And so it's just, you know, you've got to work with other people. You've got to be open to the conversations. So I have boiled it down to what I will say is 4 things that I think if you do these 4 things, honestly, you're going to have the same results that I did. And it's taking a minute to load. So I'll give it a second to do that. But that's really the key, is that you want to do these 4 things. So I'm going to pull it up here, add to stream. And here we are. So how can you be visible? How can you show up for others? So here we go. Number 1, if there's an opportunity to volunteer, do so. Meaning, if you see somebody else that's doing some great things, like starting Social Media Breakfast, or I love what Gabriel is doing here. He's taking all of the people that are live streaming on LinkedIn, and he's connecting us all. It's been really, really cool. And I love it because it's exactly what I teach and what I really believe in. And so you want to find, like, where can you add to the community? And then if there's a volunteer opportunity for you, or you can help out with that, then do it. You know, say, hey, how can I help you in that way? Number 2, be generous with your knowledge and expertise. So a lot of people will try to hoard their expertise. Like, I don't want to give it away for free because then nobody will pay me to do it. And they don't want to share too much. You know, they want to kind of just hoard what they know and not give it out. So you want to do that. You want to be very generous with your knowledge and expertise. And then you want to be active on your social media platform of choice. So social media is one of the easiest ways to get yourself out in front of folks that will help you, that will be future clients and also future collaborators and future friends. And so you want to be out there. It's probably good to focus in on 1 or 2, especially if you're just doing it all yourself, because it's a lot of work to grow a community in a specific platform. There's just a lot of different things that have to be done. Now, I'm not saying you can't do it. You can, but you know, just be realistic about how much time you're going to spend, because you will spend, you know, 5 or 6 hours a week doing things on the platform of your choice in order to really be connected to the community of that particular platform. Number 4, show up all the time, and not just when you feel like it. So, you know, my live stream sometimes on Thursday mornings, I'm like, oh, I'm dragging myself. In fact, last night I was like, oh, what am I going to talk about tomorrow? Usually I have them planned out, but it's been kind of a busy couple of weeks. So I thought, hey, why not just explain how this whole thing came about and sort of what I think. So here's the thing. If you are building your authority, if you have authority, that's great. But your authority is really nothing without the community. You have to have both authority and community. Authority, community, authority, community. And that just builds on itself. It makes it that you're at the top of mind, and then that brings you success. So authority is great, but it means nothing unless somebody notices it, right? So you don't really have authority, if you ever think of it this way. You really don't have authority unless people give you authority, right? They're giving you the authority that you need. So I just want you to understand that that's really a huge part of what this is. So going back to the GMA opportunity, let me explain how that happened. So Christy Gillantine Calloway, who is a really good friend of mine and also a very long time, probably like 6 or 7 years, attender of Social Media Breakfast of Houston. She is great at media. And years ago, when Snapchat started heating up, she became a Snapchat influencer really fast. She grew a really amazing community in Snapchat. And a lot of people started to notice that she was, becoming kind of a Snapchatter. And because of that, well, we all knew that. So anytime we had anything that had to do with Snapchat, we would call Christy. We'd say, hey, Christy, come talk to us about Snapchat. Or, hey, Christy, somebody's asking about Snapchat. Somebody needs help. Here's a great client. So we did a lot of referrals back and forth like that. But she's also a public relations professional like me, and she has a lot of media contacts. It's just true. And here in Houston, ABC 13 often would interview her about Snapchat things. And what happened was one of her interviews ended up, in an archive. And what producers do is they go back and they do research inside of their own, ecosystem. So ABC, GMA, Good Morning America, they're all in the same ecosystem. And so they go back and do research and say, who can come talk about this issue, whatever it is, right? Whether it be this situation with Dorrit having a home invasion, they needed somebody that was a social media expert to come and talk about why you shouldn't show off your stuff on social media. So anyway, so she calls me up and she says, hey, do you have time? Christy did. Actually, she sent me a Facebook message. She said, do you have time for a GMA interview today? And that was like last Thursday. And hey, I was in makeup because, it's Thursday. I do Thursday tips. I was like, sure, I could do that today. And I sat down and I put up 3 different little tips that I thought that people should keep in mind when they're sharing online, including like share after you leave a place. Like, I put them all up together in my, actually it's in my feeds, wherever you are, there's a feed in the feed. There's something there that has these 3 tips. But number 1 was, share after you leave a place. Number 2 was turn off your location data on your camera so that your camera isn't encoding like your address of your house. I mean, so I do that. I have that turned off on my photos. And number 3 was really all about, just being a little bit more cautious about what's in your background. So I've seen also people taking video of themselves in front of their house and you can see the house number or the street sign. So you want to be kind of careful about that too. So those are the 3 tips. And they said, no, we don't want 3 tips. We just want somebody to say, don't show off on social media. Don't show off your stuff on social media. And I was like, sure. I mean, definitely don't do that either. Don't say, here's my $5 million purse. Don't do that. But of course, she's the good housewife. A real housewife. So, her house is the set. So there's a lot there, that you're not going to have to deal with as an individual. So we went through all of this. I sat down. Once again, I was ready for the opportunity because I do live stream. I have a set. I have a little, area. In fact, she the first thing she said was, wow, I really love your background. She goes, so many people, I get them on here and they just are against a white wall. This is so nice. And I said, well, thank you. And, being that I live stream regularly, I have a set. So it wasn't hard for me just to sit down and get on the video. And I have, it's not like I have super expensive equipment, but I have, a nice camera and just a live streaming camera and so forth. And so, yeah, that is how it got on there, is because Christy, it's not because they knew me and I was some famous person or some well-known expert. It was like opportunistic. And I'm just going to be honest with media, especially with media appearances, it's usually opportunistic. So I've done a lot of media in my time, and a lot of it was radio. I actually have done a ton of radio. They'll just call you and say, hey, can you get on the phone with me in about 10 minutes and talk about this thing that's going on in the news? Like something happens and they want somebody to comment on it. And they call you or they send you a text, especially once you get into their Rolodex, they'll send you a text and they'll say, hey, can you get on here in the next, 10 minutes? So it's very opportunistic. And the way you can do that is being top of mind again. And it's the same thing with getting clients. It's the same thing with all of it, media, getting clients, everything. It's like being available along with people knowing what you do, and that clashes together, and then quickly, turning it around, getting that proposal out, getting the call set up, really talking with that person right and meeting them right when they have the need. That's the key to sales. It's the key to media interviews. It's the key to everything. So that is how it happened. So if you have any questions, definitely let me know in the comments. Christy's amazing. If you're hearing this, oh, I love you so much. But just the opportunities come because you put yourself in the right place. Does that make sense? You put yourself in the right place to get the opportunities. And the way to do that is to show up, show up, show up. And I'm going to put this back up again so you can see it. You want to volunteer when you can. Like if there's somebody you want to get the attention of, the best way you can get their attention is by volunteering. I still remember, a woman who had just, she was looking for a job and she was kind of between jobs. And she came to the social media breakfast and she started volunteering. She'd meet people, she'd greet them, she'd show up early and help me set up. And pretty soon she met another person at the breakfast, and that person quit his job at the mayor's office. And then she took that job. She got that job because she showed up, be generous with your knowledge and expertise. Don't hoard it. Don't hoard it. If you hoard it, nobody knows you have it. Somebody once asked me, why do you give away all of your secrets? And why do you always talk about what you've done? And I said, if I'm not ahead of that, like I want to give away what I'm doing right now, but I'm also thinking about what I'm going to do in the future. But people won't know that I have the ability to do that unless I demonstrate it. And so that's why I don't really mind doing that so much. Be active on social media. Also, a lot of times people will want you to help them get the result faster, because you can go out and get a lot of information on social media, but not everybody can like lead you through to the actual result, right? So I can talk about stuff all day, but then if you work with me, we're like moving, like we're going to get this thing done, right? That's different. Be active on social media. Again, if you ghost everybody for a really long time, they're going to forget you, not because they don't like you, but just because, it's just like there's a lot of messages coming over our radio waves every day. And then show up all the time, not just when you feel like it. Of course, there's going to be times you can't show up because you have other things or family things, but show up and be supportive and be a cheerleader. So those are the things. If authority plus community equals top of mind equals success. That's my message today. Hopefully you all agree with that. And I hope you got something out of this, but that's how the Good Morning America thing came along. Not because I'm any kind of famous person at all, but because I have an amazing, amazing community that I've intentionally built over a long period of time. And that's it. It's just showing up. All right, cool. So that is all for today. Thanks a lot. If you have any questions, definitely you're watching this in replay, let me know. If you've been lurking out there, let me know you're watching. I'd love to know. And let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer them now or later. But for right now, I'm going to say sayonara, and we will see you next Thursday. Talk to you soon. Bye.